Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
February 17, 2020, Happy President's Day. First up, from the Houston Chronicle, in a wide-ranging interview, Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred says Jim Crane's one middle finger salute to the rest of the world as an apology for the Astros sign stealing was, quote, not successful, end quote. Kind of the no kidding Sherlock. It's not clear what Major League Baseball will do, if anything. Actually, it is clear they're going to do nothing. But he was pretty clear that Crane's non-apology was not effective as an apology. So looks like baseball's going to have this scandal for quite a bit longer. Certainly no thanks to the way the Astros have handled it, starting with their owner, Jim Crane. Next up, from Dylan Tokar over at the Wall Street Journal Risk and Compliance Journal, Colombian authorities have raided the offices of Avianca Holdings as part of what the company's prosecutors describe as a transnational bribery investigation. The investigation began after the release of the Airbus International Corruption Enforcement Settlement, and Avianca was named as one of the companies whose employees had accepted bribes from Airbus for the purchase of jets. This is consistent with the continued fallout on the secondary investigations now. We've seen them in Sri Lanka, Ghana, Malaysia, probably China, although we don't know about China. So the individuals who took bribes were fairly well identified in the Airbus settlement documents, and of course they're known to prosecutors from cooperating witnesses. So it would not be a surprise to see more investigations open, and it's certainly a black eye on many of these state-owned enterprises literally across the world. Next up, from the New York Times, a always good reminder that learning to balance profit with a social mission. Profits with purpose is certainly an appropriate way to do business, but you must have profits to be able to have purpose in business. So I think a good reminder for entrepreneurs and others that it's great to want to have a social mission around your company, but if you don't have any profits, it's going to be extraordinarily difficult for you to do so going forward. And our final story is a story that, once again, the apocalypse is upon us. No, I do not mean the Trump administration and Trump's attempt to destroy the American government, but I do mean the decision by Unilever that it will stop marketing to children ice cream brands in an effort to curb childhood obesity. Frankly, I can't think of a sadder commentary. Certainly, if you're a Southerner and live in the South in the summer, that you can't have a ice cream truck running down your street with jingles playing as an advertisement for the always great treat of a nice cold ice cream on a hot summer day. So Ben & Jerry's is going to be able to market, although they're not going to be able to market to children. So it's not quite clear to me how this ad will be put into effect and impact. Nevertheless, I don't think it is the Unilever selling the ice cream. I think it's parents stuffing the ice cream down their children and not getting them out to exercise. So I, for one, am a bit sad on this. It's not cigarettes and it's not alcohol. It's ice cream. So no more ads on ice cream. I'd like to ask a favor, if I could, if you would rate this podcast, the Daily Compliance News, on iTunes. It would help on our ratings and help get the word out to people who aren't aware of this podcast. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening.